Hey, Buddhist Love here. So, today I'm going to explain to you the definition of spiritual liberation and what it actually is, and maybe even a little bit of how you can reach it. I'm not spiritually liberated fundamentally, personally. I am still trying. There's been times where I've been liberated for short periods of time before I went back into identification with ego. But if you are not identified with ego, which is basically thoughts and emotions and identification with the self, having attachments, desires that if you didn't get them, they would bring you suffering, things of that nature. If you're not identified with any of that, then you are spiritually liberated. You are spiritually liberated and enlightened and awakened spiritually. It's all the same thing. It's all different words for the same thing. Basically, you can't identify with thought or emotion and be spiritually liberated. It wouldn't be possible. There are ways to temporarily put yourself into liberation, but something doesn't last. Something happens. You fall out. You go into identification with ego. You can sit there, clear your mind. You can sit there and meditate and look around your room. You feel that level of peace coming into you. And for those brief few minutes, you are enlightened. You are liberated spiritually. But something doesn't stay, does it? It's easy to get in that state of no mind. But something doesn't stay. Something doesn't stay. So basically, you have to be no longer identified with material objects, wants that if you couldn't get them, you would feel suffering for them, attachments for things that if you lose them, that you already have, you would feel suffering. If you give those things up and give up the self, and stop identifying with the self, and realize there's only awareness and consciousness, you are liberated spiritually. That can happen temporarily sometimes, for short periods of time, or for a few minutes. You are liberated, enlightened, awakened spiritually. I've been there several times. One day I was there for 5 days before I fell back in to identification with ego and the self. Basically, how do you become spiritually liberated? Well, there's several ways you can do it. You can try Taoism, Buddhism. I'm a Buddhist, as many of you can tell. I believe in the philosophy of peace and love, and excuse me. So basically, there's different ways you can do it. You've got to stop identifying with things. Like I said before, I basically already explained. You've got to stop identifying with material objects, things in the world of form, basically. Nothing in the world of form is going to bring you lasting happiness. Only things in the world of the formless. Let me give you an example. So, for example, if you think your new PS4 Pro is going to bring you happiness forever, it's not. Your new PSVR, no. New stereo system will not bring you happiness forever. Now, in the world, those are things in the world of form. Anything in the world of form will not bring you liberation. It will not bring you true happiness. But things in the world of the formless can. Things in the world of the formless include, for example, when you're meditating and you just lay back and your mind is clear. Any thoughts that come in, you're identifying with them. You're just observing them and letting them go, not giving a mental interpretation to them. And you just sit there and you're in a certain state of mind, a certain liberation at that point. And that is the formless right there. If there were a God, if that were God, which I don't know if I believe in God. I don't think I believe in God per se, at least not in the sense that many atheists deny or that many theists and deists confirm. I believe in something a little bit different, sort of like the Tao, which was never considered to be God. But if that was God, that whole level of peace you get from clearing your mind to meditating and being in the world of the formless, that would be, if that were God, that would be, what was I going to say? That would be, lost my train of thought. that would be the formless, and that would be basically a dimension that you could go into and be truly happy. Because it's in the world of the formless. Nothing in the world of form will bring you happiness. Like a new car, a new Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a new mansion will not bring you lasting happiness. But those paintings up in your mansion, it's only going to bring you happiness for about 6 months to a year. You're going to get used to it. It's going to become accustomed to. You're not going to like it anymore. But when you're in the world of the formless, when you're, say, if God is real, He is in the formless. If what you call God is that state of being I was talking about, then that is the formless. And God is formless. And if there is a God, I don't think it's what the atheists deny and what most theists confirm. I think it's more of something that is complicated, so complicated, yet simple. I think that God is not a concept, not a form. He's not even something. He just is. The underlying current in which all things happen, the collective consciousness of all beings. Quantum physics has proven that everything is one. There is one consciousness flowing through all of us. Everything is interconnected. This has been proven through science, physically proven. And I believe that if energy cannot be created or destroyed, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the first law of thermodynamics. I could be wrong on that. But basically, energy cannot be created or destroyed. So if energy cannot be created or destroyed, and we're all one, we can't be separated from the oneness because we're all one, then wouldn't that mean there's an afterlife? Wouldn't that mean there must be an afterlife? We can't be destroyed after we die, so where would we go? You know? And if there's an afterlife, is there a God? But if there's a God, what is that entity? What is that? Is it even an entity at all? It's like, you know, how would you define that? Define a God? Probably not what most atheists deny as God. That's probably not what God is. But there may be something out there. I believe in a higher power. People have come to me who, on the streets, have read my mind and told me what I was doing in my apartment 15 minutes ago, even if it was embarrassing, and showed up and knew when to show up at certain places, and knew not when to show up, so I wouldn't be hurt or so I was protected. There definitely is a group of individuals out there, superhumans I might call them, higher powers. They watch over me. I guarantee you they exist because they've come to me, they've spoken to me, and they've read my thoughts right then and there. How do you reach spiritual liberation, spiritual awakening, spiritual enlightenment? You have to let go. Acceptance, full acceptance, both consciously and subconsciously, all throughout your mind. Full acceptance of everything is enlightenment. If you can fully accept, if you can sit down and get to a point where you fully accept everything, even the bad stuff, it doesn't mean condonement. You're not saying it's okay. You're saying, well, this is the way it has to be, right? So if it has to be this way, I might as well not be in resistance of it. And then you just let go, you accept it. Accept things you can't change, because you can't change them. You see? And accept the good things with the bad things, the okay things. If you want to change something and you're able to change it, well then try if you want. But sometimes it's best to just go with the flow of life. And just accept. I accept most things in my life. The only thing I really don't accept, the only like attachment I still have through Buddhism is probably my bipolar mood swings. I mood swing a lot. On average, every 16 days or so, I'm up, and then I fall down to depression and anxiety for about 3 to 6 days. And I don't like that very much. When I'm up, I'm perfect. I'm fine. I'm great. When I'm down, I can't stand life. And if I can just get over that, I would be at least enlightened to a degree that was good enough for me. Maybe not fundamentally enlightened. And there's all levels of enlightenment, too. There's all levels of liberation. There's the liberation where you were depressed for 30 years. Horrible suicidal depression. And you crossed over into a new dimension. And you no longer feel suicidal anymore. It burned itself out, which can happen. Mental illness can burn itself out. That's one level of liberation. And then maybe as when I went on and got over my depression personally, I continued to feel happier and enjoy life more and more with every coming summer. Every spring and summer, life gets a little bit better for me. So how do you reach spiritual liberation? Well, it takes focus, it takes meditation. I would focus on one point in the room you're in. Don't take your attention off of it. Clear your mind. If a thought comes in, you don't have to follow that thought where it wants to go. Just observe it and let it go. Because one thought will lead you into a bigger thought and a bigger thought and a bigger thought, and pretty soon you're worried about everything. Don't do that. Just be cool. Just focus on that one point. And don't take your attention away. And spread a message of peace and love around the world. You can't really do that without spreading a message of peace and love around the world. That's really an Eightfold Noble Path. That's basically summed up. And you want to reach spiritual liberation, then, okay. So, accept everything. Even the best. If your car breaks down, you have to walk to school. You just lost $3,000 to a thief who broke into your room and stole it. You can't stop these things. You can't make them, well, what's done is done. So people, just accept everything. Accept every single thing. It doesn't mean condonement. You don't have to be okay with it. You just have to be at a point where this is the way it is, and I don't like it, but I might as well not be in resistance because there's no way to escape it, right? So that's how you reach liberation. That's how you reach spiritual liberation. That's what spiritual liberation is. You don't identify with ego or, you know, as in thought, emotion. You don't have attachments, desires that will cause you harm, physical, emotional pain if you don't get them. You don't identify with the self. Self that says, I am Joe with these personality traits and these likes and these dislikes and this family and this mother and this neighborhood I live in and this Portland city. You know, I mean, honestly, if you don't do that, if you don't identify with any of those things, you will be enlightened. If you accept fully, accept the whole, everything happens to you, everything you can't change, accept it, accept everything, especially the things you can't change, accept it. And you will be enlightened. You will be awakened. You will be spiritually liberated. So that's how you do it. So if this is your first time on my videos, feel free to check out more of my videos if you like. There should be some readily available to you at the end of this video that you can click on the screen. Please take time to subscribe, please, and hit the bell so you get notified of other videos that I make in the future. Feel free to share this video, tell your friends about it. Trying to grow my channel right now. Only have 1 subscriber right now as of the making of this video. I would appreciate if you could find some people for me that are all about peace and love, want to spread the message of peace and love around the world like I do. And send them my way, please, because I need to find some subscribers so I can reach many people and hopefully help people to feel good about themselves and change lives for the better. So, please, if you like the video, please give it a like. And let me know in the comment section what you think. So, thank you, and have a wonderful, blessed day. May the peace and joy of your Buddha nature stay with you at all times, and may you find true peace and joy in your life as I have found. Good luck to you.